Alright guys, in this video I want to talk to you guys about how to not dread long runs. And I know how challenging long runs can be, both physically and mentally and emotionally. I know it can be a roller coaster ride, so I kind of want to help you guys out through that, give you guys a few tips. So the first thing that comes to mind when I think about how to not dread long runs is actually to make them into workouts, which might sound kind of counterintuitive to you. You're like, it's hard enough just to run 2 hours without doing a workout within that 2 hours. But I think about myself when I was training professionally in Mammoth, and oftentimes we'd have to do my second runs on treadmills because we got a ton of snow up there in the wintertime. And I swear, if I did a 30-minute run on a treadmill, it was just an easy run, I was never changing pace, just easy run, I was going crazy mentally during that 30-minute period. Whereas like I've done 26-mile long runs on treadmills before and had it not feel that long, and actually almost preferred it because it was a controlled environment. I could get drinks whenever I wanted. I was paced by the treadmill. You know, you're just plugging in whatever pace you want to run and it's going, so you don't have to think about the pace or anything. And there's actually some nice aspects to running on a treadmill, but it can be really mentally draining if you're just running easy the whole time. So my first tip would probably be to make it into a workout. So there's a lot of different ways you can make a long run into a workout. Probably the easiest way is to do some kind of fartlek running throughout your long run. And not only is this good mentally to break the long run up in your mind, to have different things to focus on throughout the long run, it also just makes it easier to be present, right? Like if you're doing, say, 2 minutes hard, 2 minutes easy during the second hour of a 2-hour long run, for example, when you're running hard for 2 minutes, all you're thinking about is just getting through this 2-minute segment, right? You're not thinking about, well, your mind might drift into like, man, I still have like 10 of these left to do or something. But for the most part, like, it's kind of making you come back and just be very focused on what you're doing right now. And then when you get to that easy 2-minute segment, you're just focused on, okay, I just need to chill, I just need to recover. And so you're just breaking it up in your mind. So really, that is, in my mind, the biggest key to getting through long runs and even to getting through marathons. I remember when I was training with Dina Castor in Mammoth and Meb Kefleski, and I remember when I was before I even did a marathon, they're like, listen, like, you just need to break this up. Like, I remember Dina telling me she'd break it up into her bottle station. So we get bottles every 5K in a marathon, so 8 bottles. So she'd just break it up into 8 different segments. And it's like, just get to your next bottle. Like, that is the race, just getting to the next bottle. So I think a lot of the mental approach to getting through long runs is by coming back, and just all your problems primarily are in the future. You thinking about them in the future. They're future problems. They're not actual problems that you have. Like, usually you have what it takes to get you through the moment that you're in right now. But when you start worrying about future moments, that's when you become like overwhelmed and you shut down and you're just like, forget it. Like, I can't do it. Like, I can't bear to think about all this distance I have left to travel. So you gotta really, it's like meditation, right? It's like you gotta bring yourself back all the time. And it's okay if your mind drifts to that. Your mind's gonna drift to like, I can't believe I have X amount of time left. That's totally fine. Bring your mind back. Just be here right now. Just focus on this moment. You have what it takes right now, and break the long run into bite-sized pieces that you know you can accomplish. Whether that's every 5K, get to your next bottle. You can even like bribe yourself with candy. Like, this is actually a really helpful thing to do. Like, carry some candy. I did this in the World Marathon Challenge when I ran 7 marathons in 7 days, 7 continents. Like, I'd be like, all right, when I get to mile X, I'm gonna get like donuts, I'm gonna get like gummy worms or some kind of candy that I'm really looking forward to, and that's like my reward to getting to that point. And then you get that candy, and then you get a little hit of sugar, a little hit of energy. And that's going to lead to my next tip for you guys and how to not dread long runs, and that is the nutritional component. A lot of times when you're really suffering with long runs, you're hitting a wall, and like there's like a mental fatigue that comes with a lack of carbohydrates. You'll be amazed sometimes how you'll be like mentally starting to get really down on yourself, feeling like you're questioning yourself, you know, like all those negative thoughts are starting to flood in, and then all of a sudden you get a little bit of sugar on board and you're feeling better about life. You're feeling more positive, like things are like the tables are kind of turning, you know? So that'd be my next recommendation for getting through long runs, is fueling. Like, you might not think like that's how to get through a long run, but fueling is hugely important in getting through long runs. So making sure you're taking in adequate carbohydrate, and literally we want just simple carbohydrates when you're doing your long runs. any kind of fat-free candy is going to be great. Fat is a little bit harder to digest, so that's why I always recommend fat-free candy. It's also going to get into your system quicker, which we want when you're out running. So any type of fat-free candy or a beverage, honey can be an option for people who their stomach tends to get messed up. That's something I recommend to them. So let's think about fueling. Let's think about the mental approach of like staying present in this moment. And then let's also think about from the workout perspective of how can I make this long run fun? How can I mix it up? Putting in a fartlek in the back half of it, putting in a threshold in the back half of that. And then you're also, that's very relevant to what you're going to be doing in the racing, right? Like in the race, you're not going to go run your marathon at an easy effort. You're going to run it at goal marathon pace, right? So it's very relevant to put in some hard running in the back half of your long runs. And then two other things I want to suggest to you guys. One is music. Music can definitely shift what's going on inside of you, your heart and your mind, your emotions. Just put you in a really good, relaxed, trance-like state. Definitely recommend music. I use that all the time when I was training professionally. And then the other thing is running with other people, company, chatting on that run. It's gonna be super, super helpful for getting through those long runs. Oh, and one other thing I just remembered is also scenery. Doing your long runs in a beautiful place, like it's worth it to wake up a little bit earlier, drive half an hour to that place that's a little bit nicer for your long run, and run in a beautiful location. Get yourself out into the forest, into the woods, and you'll find that time goes by a lot quicker. And you know, lastly on that, you know, I opened the video talking about treadmill running and how monotonous it can be just be sitting on that treadmill and you're staring at that clock and you look at it like a million times, you know. Usually like cover it with a towel so you're not looking at it all the time. But same mentality when you're out here running in the woods doing your long run. You don't want to be checking your watch like every 5 minutes, right? So to see how long you can go without checking your watch, when you find yourself wanting to check your watch, just be like, no, like I'm just gonna be here, I'm just gonna be present, I'm just gonna find something beautiful about this moment and I'm gonna focus on that rather than worrying how much time I have left to run. So those are my tips, guys, for how to get through and not dread your long runs. I hope that's helpful for you guys, and I hope you love your long runs.